Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me today for our symmetrical butterflies. So today what we're focusing on is a little bit of art and a little bit of math. And because some of our projects have already focused on a little bit of geometry and things like that, I figured symmetry would be a good topic to talk about. Symmetry is obviously when the things are the same on both sides, and we chatted a little bit about that in our past lessons. So today, our technique is going to be trying to transfer what we've drawn on one side of a piece of paper to the other. So a couple tips that I'll go over before I show you my example is that the softer the type of media you have, or the softer the type of coloring object you have or pencil, the better. So if you have something, this is just kind of a big twistable crayon type of thing. This happens to be very soft, so I was able to transfer pretty easily. But if you have a pencil, it will work. Sometimes the key is just that you have to make sure that you're pressing hard enough to transfer. So you really can use anything soft as long as you are using your transfer correctly, and I'll show you what to do for that, okay? So let's take a look at my example butterfly. So again, I just gave you a sample outline, the one in the slides, because I just wanted you to have a place to start, but it certainly does not have to look exactly like this. This was just, beginning place or inspiration. So what I did was on this side of the paper, I drew everything out. I started with the center. This is almost like a, half of an oval shape. And then I really just have kind of these small rectangles and ovals. Everything breaks down into a different shape. This is just a bumpy line across the top, bumpy line across the bottom. And that's how I worked. I went from the middle to the outside, and I did the outside shapes first, okay? Just big bumpy lines. And then I added in my little ovals and my rectangles after that. Pretty simple, okay? Again, take it one step at a time. This is the first part of the project only, okay? That's all we're working on this week. So then what I did was I folded my paper, okay? Folded it in half. And obviously this is landscape style. It's side to side, not portrait. And then I took actually the edge of my watercolors, because I didn't really have anything else handy. So, and then what I did was I just pressed and rubbed it, and you're just going to go over it as many times as possible, applying a lot of pressure and really digging into that paper, okay? Because you want the transfer to happen, and you want the work from the one side of the page to go over onto the other. Now, as you can see, I went over, this doesn't come out exactly as vibrant or as strong as the other side, okay? It's not as strong. So what I'm going to do is then I go over those outlines with my crayon, okay? So I just have the outline edge here, and then I'll just continue to draw those lines and go over it. Now the impact is that it will be perfectly symmetrical, okay? Because it's the imprint of the one side onto the other. So again, this is the beginning part of our project, and the key of this week is to set up your outline of your butterfly, okay? Using whatever you have that's soft, a crayon, a soft pencil, folding over, pressing really hard with another object, okay? A ruler, something like that, something where you're really scraping the paper. And then once you open it back up, you have that little bit of a template, and you're going to go back over it, okay? Next week, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on filling in all the small details and also adding in our color. Now, one thing I am going to give you an idea for right now, and very similar to our mandalas that we did, is that this is our base pattern. You can certainly go back in and you can add more details once this is all done. So you can start to do that now. You can add in small patterns, and I'll show you with a Sharpie what I mean by that so it comes out nicely. So you can add in, say, 3 dots over here. Okay, and then you'll do the same over here. And then you could even add in some diagonal lines on one side. And then just do the same on the opposite side. Okay. So what I would recommend to add some interest is whatever you use as your soft color to make your imprint, then use something else like a marker or something else to add in your textures. And then what we'll do is we'll add in our colors next week. And what we'll do is we'll look at the color wheel to try and give the most impact in our butterfly as possible. So I hope this helps you get started, and I will see you next week for the rest of our lesson.